Hi, my name is Maria Taggart. I teach Foundations of Science 203 Environmental Stewardship, and I'm recording this video as part of my professional development module. This semester I chose Building Relevance. So excuse me, I have a little cold, so hopefully I don't cough while I'm recording this. But I really enjoyed the materials that started us off with looking at building relevance, and especially the article that we read, how to make learning relevant to your students and why it's crucial to their success. I really enjoyed reading that one. I feel like environmental stewardship, the way the class is designed, is already designed to make sure that to make the concepts really relevant to the students. Every other week is a discussion board, and a lot of times, I think every other time it's a current event, so they have to look at news articles or current events and see what's going on in the world that has to do with the unit that we're studying. And a lot of times students will find current events from their local area, and so that's an added level of relevance that's already kind of incorporated into the assignment. And then also on the other weeks that's not discussion boards, the students write position papers where most of the prompts require the students to take some sort of footprint calculator. So they're looking at their own lifestyle and assessing their own lifestyle, and they're using a calculator to put in, like how much, what they're doing on a daily or weekly or annual basis, to look at, their water footprint or their carbon footprint. And so that's already making it really relevant to them. And then they write a one-page kind of essay about that. And so the assignments and the course is already really relevant, or builds a lot of relevance for these students already. So for my goal, I wanted to see how I could add to that as an instructor, while also helping the students see that, I think the students really like to see that I'm a real person, and that I really care about their success, and that I'm not just some person that gives them grades at the end of the week. So last semester I offered 2 of the discussion board weeks to do a live Zoom meeting, where the students would come prepared with their own discussion questions, because every week they have to submit a discussion question for the discussion board, where they would come prepared, and we would kind of just do an hour and a half long thing, and everyone would come and get full credit, for participating. Excuse me. And so this semester I did the same thing. The first week I did it, I think, was week 6, and I used that same format okay, I'll answer the question. What was your original goal? My original goal was to form better relationships between myself and my students, to help the students see each other in real time. I really like to reach, I think, I'm a firm believer that, not all students learn the same, and so I wanted to give students an opportunity to, at least twice in the semester, talk and learn in a different way, because I think that's one of the difficult things about being an online student, and also to have those in-depth conversations about course topics, and to build connections in their own life. And I also love that a lot of our students are international, and I love when they get on the Zoom call too, and it can not only help students build relevance for their own communities, but global relevance. And I think that's really important, especially in this environmental stewardship course. And so the first time in week 6, I did the same format of having the students come with their own discussion questions, and share something they learned. And it was good, and I got a lot of great feedback. I had about 25 students I did a Tuesday session and a Wednesday session, so 25 students over 2 days, and I got a lot of really good feedback from it. And then the second week I did, I think it was week 10, which is our climate change unit. And this can be a really controversial unit among students, because it can be a really personal issue, it can be political, it can be a lot of different things. And so I kind of wanted to control the conversation a little bit more than another topic. So I decided to come up with my own discussion questions based on our materials. And I actually think that it turned out way better. The students really responded really well. Let's see, I'm looking at my notes. I was able to control the focus and the direction a lot better, and the students were able to participate a lot better because obviously I have, as an instructor, I have more experience coming up with discussion questions than they do. And so in the previous format, students would sometimes come with their discussion questions, and a lot of time they'd be difficult theory questions or questions they had about the science that other students weren't really able to answer. And so it would be mostly the student asking me a question and then me responding and explaining a concept, which is great, but it wasn't a really peer discussion. And so this time I was able to control the quality of the questions being asked. I was able to ask more open-ended questions, and I think that helped the students build a lot more relevance. The questions that I asked, I can run through them really quick just so that you can get an idea of what kinds of question I asked. I started off with just kind of, let's think about the material that we learned this week. So what are some specific causes of climate change? Other than global warming, what are some other impacts of climate change mentioned in the materials? How are people around the world affected differently by the consequences of climate change? How does what you have learned about climate change this week affect how you view our other units so far? For example, energy, water, global population, food, sustainability, etc. And then the last question, have you seen any way that climate change has impacted you directly or indirectly, or in your local community? And I found that those last two questions, helping them, especially tying between units, really, we actually both nights ended up with really spiritual discussion about it. So it was kind of a double bonus how that ended up. So my original goal was to form relationships and to build relevance on top of what's already built into the course. The experience turned out really great, and I think I'm going to continue to do it in future semesters. Even though it's kind of scary to do it on the climate change week, which is the controversial week, I think it was actually so important because it's so important to help students realize that they can have difficult conversations and be respectful and take that skill into their personal lives, and to feel like those principles are relevant to their own lives. And what I would change for next time, I think what I changed between the first session and the second session was really good. And for next time, I think I might post the discussion questions beforehand so that they can kind of gather their thoughts and think about it more beforehand, so there's not quite as much lag time. So anyways, that was my experience with my professional development module this semester in winter 2019. Thank you.